why did you or your family move to the Philippines?
For me, I moved to the Philippines because my dad's business, it had to be here. So that's why.
I came here because of my studies. My mom thought it would be a better place for me to study English here. So I came here with my mother and my brother.
My mom just brought me here.
My parents are both missionaries. They came here to be missionaries. My dad is a pastor and my mom is a medical missionary. I was born and raised here.
For my case, it's because of my dad's business. He started working here in the Philippines during the late 1990s, and our whole family eventually moved to the Philippines.
Similar to what she said, it's because of my dad's business. And actually, I was born and raised here in the Philippines.
What was your first impression of the Philippines? And has it changed in the present? How do you see the Philippines now?
My first impression was that it was really hot because unlike Korea, Philippines only has summer or rainy season. When I got out from the airport, I couldn't breathe for a while because it was really hot.
Actually, my impression's really similar with his. It was really wet and hot. I really complained a lot to my mother that I wanted to go back to Korea and feel the cold weather. The good thing about being very hot here is that the air condition is really good when you go inside. Because in Korea, it's not that cold even if they turn on the aircon. But here, it's really, really, really cold that you have to wear, sweaters whenever you go to cinemas and malls.
I actually don't feel hot, that hot anymore. I heard Korea is very hot right now. People who come to the Philippines right now, they always say that, oh, Korea is so much hotter than this. And yeah, so I kind of feel blessed.
I just thought that the image of the Philippines is like in Manila.
How do you see Philippines now?
A little bit changed because Ortigas is like Gangnam, Apgujeong is like Bonifacio.
For me, since I've been here since birth, I've always loved this country as my own country, and I've always been passionate about how to make this country better, cleaner environment. I don't throw trash. Maybe I could say that I love Philippines more than the Filipinos.
The people, I guess. Because the first person I met when I was in the Philippines was my dad's secretary, and she was so friendly. As in, I was like, why is she so friendly? It's like I just found my lost relative because she was so friendly.
Wow.
So I was scared at first because she doesn't even know me. How can she be so friendly and open-minded? But then I realized as I grow up that that's the culture here in the Philippines, that you are always open and you have a wide heart to the foreigners.
Did you ever feel culture shocked with Filipino culture? If so, how and why?
One thing I was really shocked about was that there's this thing called Filipino time, right? There's also Korean time, but then the gap is very big. So when we set the time to let's meet up at 3 p.m. People gather up 4 p.m. and some really come when the sun already goes down. And I think that was a little bit shocking.
During Christmas, it's only October and everyone is already preparing for Christmas.
Yeah.
They already prepared the Christmas decorations, Christmas tree. But in Korea, we only prepare during Christmas Eve and Christmas itself, right?
Yeah, and also the taxi drivers. I was really culture shocked because the drivers here in the Philippines, when you get a ride, if it's kind of far and if it's traffic, they ask for additional payment, right? But then there's nothing like that in Korea. So I was like, why are they asking me to pay more? I suggest they take Grab.
Yeah, grab it,
Or if they want to experience the culture, they can take tricycle. Jeepney also, but jeepney, you have to say para po.
Yeah, para
And
po.
bayad po. So if you're shy, you just can take the tricycle instead.
Or ethics.
Oh, and fix, yeah.
When the taxi drivers ask me more money to pay, I feel bad.
My boyfriend is a Filipino. We're very different in terms of culture. So sometimes I'm asking him, diba obvious? I get mad. Being late. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe we're very sensitive or maybe it's just a different culture.
Last year, South Koreans remained as the Philippines' top visitor with over 1 million tourist arrivals, and in 2015, an estimated 89,000 to 100,000 Koreans were recorded living in the Philippines, including you. What do you think made them choose the Philippines as a place to visit, stay, or study?
First, it's an English-speaking country and it's cheap. So like, for example, when you go to the United States, it's good to learn English from there, but the prices there is so expensive. While on the Philippines, you can also learn English and you can also save money.
I think people come to the Philippines because it's really near the country, and if you see around, there are many families who are separated just for their children's studies here. And if the children go to countries like America, Canada, it's too far away and it's hard for the family to like gather up. Also, I think it's because of the beautiful scenery that they have here. So that's why I also like traveling around the country when I have free time. It's one thing that Korean people really love, because Korean people really love taking pictures and posting photographs on Instagram, and I think it's like the best country for them to do that.
Livelihood here is much cheaper than Korea. The house, or maybe you can establish a business here with a cheaper money than Korea.
Definitely the tourist spots. Like Palawan, Boracay, Bohol, Cebu. Wow.
I guess it's a cheap alternative to farther countries for Koreans to learn English, first of all. And it's also near compared to other countries. So you get to go to your country more often.
Since I know that you guys live here, is there any area in Manila where Koreans live a lot? And why?
Here,
Ortigas!
Ortigas!
Ortigas
Why?
Peeps.
First of all, it's
Convenient.
yeah, it's convenient because you can walk to malls everywhere. You get the schools are near.
What
There are a lot of
else?
condominiums, and it's clean and safe. And also in Makati, it's almost the same, right? And High Street,
High Street, yeah, BGC.
BGC, Makati, Ortigas.
Or like if you live really far, Alabang.
자, 여러분, 한국 시청자 여러분들, 필리핀에 오시면 마닐라에만 계시지 마시고 올티가스라는 곳이라든가 마카티라는 곳이라든가
아니면 쾌전이라는
네,
곳이라든가
보니파쇼 이런 데를 가보시면 필리핀이 얼마나 깨끗하고
이쁘고
네, 안전한 나라인지 여러분들이 보실 수 있을 거예요. 그래서
네.
좀 더 다양하게 경험을 하고 싶으시다면 추천해드립니다.
네, 먹을거리도 많습니다.
절대 스폰 받는 게 아니고요. 저희 의견이니까 네, 여러분들이 참고하시면 좋을 것 같아요.
According to recent data, South Korea has been recorded as one of the safest countries in the world. Were there ever any instances that made you feel unsafe in the Philippines? And in your opinion, is the Philippines really a dangerous country?
For me, I stayed here for 11 years, but I don't think I've ever experienced me being in danger because of the Filipino people. Many Korean people, they think that the Philippines is a very dangerous place because there are so many news like drugs or murders, theft. But as a Korean who has lived here for a long time, I really didn't experience those, and I think Philippines is a safe country.
I was not really in danger, but I felt danger sometimes. It was when I went to Malate. It's where Korean people love to go to drink. And we were like partying all night, and it was like 3 a.m. and someone snatched my wallet and bag. I felt danger, but I was not really in danger. And I think it only happens to people who love partying and who love going out in dark. But then for those who just stay in cities and who don't really walk around at night, I think it's a very, very safe country. Just like Korea.
Many Koreans actually do go to Malate to go clubbing or partying or drinking. But Filipinos don't really go there as much, right? They usually go to clubs in BGC or Makati. Those are the ones that Filipinos perceive as more safer places to visit. Is there a reason why Koreans choose Malate?
Koreans love going to Malate because there are so many Korean resto bars there. There's one thing that Koreans love. They really like to gather around together, rather than to hang out with foreigners. They really want to hang out with people of their own country, right? I think when you go there, you get to meet new Korean people. I think that's why Korean people love going there.
Would you suggest that they go to the safer clubs, or would they rather stay in Malate?
Actually, for me, if I'm just hanging around in just inside the club. I go to Valkyrie Club in BGC. But then when I want to drink and like meet people and then go partying, I go to Malate.
You wanna add?
I don't go.
Good answer, good answer.
Yeah. Okay.
I've always felt safe in this country.
Actually, we are foreigners, so we can be the victim always. So we have to be more careful. I think Koreans do some kind of bad thing. They spit in the taxi. The Koreans are always like texting. I think that kind of things are very tempting. The robbers, the Philippine bad people to do something bad.
I think all countries are dangerous. Like you can't justify that this or that
Agreed.
country is really, really safe.
It depends. It's mostly on you. Because if you go to dangerous places, of course you're
You're most likely
to be in danger. But then, you know, as in all other places, there are really safe and clean areas within the country. So I think it all depends on how you act,
of course.
where you go, what time you go home. Yeah, things like that.
A while ago, Hannah mentioned that a lot of Koreans do hang out in Malate. Would you recommend that area or no?
I guess 50-50.
Me too.
Because like, you know, no offense in Malate, there are like lots of places where Koreans really like to hang out.
If they are looking for Korean restaurants, most of the famous restaurants are located in Malate. That's why people go there for a drink, for a hangout. But if I were to recommend other areas, I would more likely recommend BGC instead of Malate because I feel it's safer,
Cleaner.
cleaner, and also you can get to taste Filipino food a lot in BGC.
Based on your experience, how different is student or school life in the Philippines and South Korea?
I've studied like few years in Korea and few years in the Philippines. I think the good thing about being a student in Korea is that you get to engage in more organizations and hang out with more friends. It's because we speak the same language. But then if I'm in the Philippines, like the culture and the language is different, so it's a little bit hard for Korean students to hang out with Filipino friends and be part of organizations, especially when most things are held by people who only speak Filipino.
The Philippine education is less strict, but since there's no opportunity for the Korean students to work here, like as a part-time job, normally the university students in Korea, they work part-time job, yes, and study at the same time. And we can be more comfortable with the tuition fee so that we can help our parents. But here, there's less options.
What I think is Koreans, especially in terms of math, they are really advanced. I was here when I was like 5 years old. My Korean friends are in a higher level in terms of mathematics, but then also in terms of English.
I guess we excel that.
Other than that, Koreans are more competitive, I think. They're living in a world of competition wherein you have to
Study really hard.
yeah, really hard
You
in,
have to
in
also-
order to get to university.
You have to be the top class.
I think it's because of the education system. You have to take one exam in order for you to get in a university. Sunod. It's an exam. When you're about to graduate high school, the university that you're gonna go into depends on your grade in school. But here, you just
Take the entrance
you
exam.
just apply every school you want.
Did you have any difficulties applying in schools here? Because knowing that it's really hard in Korea and the Philippines for Filipinos, it's hard to get in the top 4. UP,
LaSalle.
Ateneo, LaSalle, and UST.
UAMP!
But was it really hard to take those tests in your opinion?
Yes, especially
UP.
because
It's-
exam is in Tagalog.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, so deep. Like, oh my god.
What does
how do you
this
answer this?
My instincts say it's A. It's really hard for foreigners to get in UP unless it's arts or
music.
extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
So it's hard also.
It was hard for me.
I know people who passed like Ateneo, which is really smart kasi. That's why. But for UP, I know people like music, so they don't really have to focus on the test. They only have to like practice. Like for my sister, she practiced a lot playing piano, but not necessarily an exam.
But she got into uni.
Yeah.
Is there an aspect of South Korean culture that you wish the Philippines had and vice versa?
For the Filipinos, I actually want them to be faster. For example, in Korea, like when you get some documents, you can get it during that day or like an hour later. But in the Philippines, they always say like come back after 3 days or 1 week. And when I go like after 1 week, they say tomorrow. And for the Koreans, in Korean culture, they're very strict with the age. For example, that I'm 18. Let's say I have a brother. He's 19 years old. If I call him like, hey, I'm gonna be beaten up to death.
I'm sorry.
In the Philippines, like everyone calls them by name, like regardless of age, like how old you are. That's one thing that I want Koreans to be like Filipinos.
One thing Filipino boys should learn is that they are being too flirty to girls. Because in Korea, when a guy really loves a girl, he really hides his feelings and talk and be serious when they talk about romance. What I realized was Filipino boys are like too flirty and they joke around just because they like the girl. And one thing Koreans should learn is that Filipino people are really happy and they never complain about anything. But Korean people are too annoyed by anything, and I think that's really wrong because a person can be happy in any situation, and I think they deserve to be very happy at all times.
Filipinos are really shy. Always like, ay, shy ako eh. Yeah, but Koreans, I noticed that they're very vocal. For example, do you have any questions like Filipinos? I'm shy. They won't ask. But Koreans, they always like, oh, I have a question. They only mind their business. They don't care if someone's... Filipinos are identified as really like the most happy people, right? They find joy in simple things in life. For example, like riding a jeep or eating kwek-kwek. Or I don't know, Koreans also enjoy that. But it's a different kind of experience. Like for me, I grew up with Filipinos. So I really enjoyed how they enjoyed simple things.
I don't know if it's the right word, like more on discipline, like traffic lights. Because every time I go to EDSA with my brother, when he drives, my heart, it feels like it's shrinking. It's really shocking because the drivers, they don't stay in one lane. If this is one lane and this is the other, they go to the middle. And I'm like, it would be better if people could follow simple rules, traffic rules.
What we want the Koreans to adopt to the Philippine culture is being open.
Ah, yeah, I know. Because Koreans are really individualistic.
Yeah, close-mindedness.
They're close-minded.
Too judgmental.
Yeah. When you go to Korea and someone goes to you and try to start a conversation, the first thing that would come to me, why is this person talking to me? I don't even know him. But here in the Philippines, when you start a conversation with a complete stranger, you would
still be
willing to start the conversation.
Many Filipinos these days are enjoying Korean popular culture, specifically K-pop and K-dramas. Because of this, these Filipinos look up to these idols and celebrities as role models. But as a Korean living in the Philippines, what would you like to say to them?
As long as you don't make those idols as like their gods. Because sometimes Filipinos make them like really their whole identity. But as long as you get like inspiration from them, it's very nice to see Filipinos like loving our music, our culture. I think what Filipinos should remember is that they're not talunan, like they're not losers. They should not see themselves as like a tail but a head. Because Filipinos, they look up very high on Americans, Koreans, Western people. I think they should just have their own identity and love their country and their people and make sure they do something that can better themselves. Let's bring her to Congress.
I know that Korean songs are really good, but then when I hear Filipino songs in taxis, it's so good, and your singers are really good. So I think you can like send your Filipino songs to Korea so that Korean people can also have more time listening to Filipino songs.
I appreciate the fact that Filipinos like K-pop or K-drama, but I also want to say to the Filipinos that maybe you guys could also appreciate more on your culture, because K-pop's nice, K-drama's nice, but as Hannah mentioned, when I listen to Filipino songs, Filipinos have a better pipe than Koreans, in my opinion. So yeah, I think Filipinos can work more on their Filipino pop. Yeah.
F-pop.
Yeah.
We like to appreciate so much for you guys appreciating and loving our culture with K-pop and dramas, because it's really hard to influence other countries on what we actually do.
It really means a lot to us because it kind of bonds us to one.
Yes,
We are one.
yes, it unites us.
Yeah, and I also really wanna say that I've seen a lot of Filipino people covering Korean music, and you guys are really good at it. And it would be nice if also our fellow Koreans would be able to explore Philippine music and dramas and everything.
I like the Filipino movies.
Movies?
Yes, it's actually good. Like,
I've never watched Filipino movies.
really, like Sister Rectas, Second Chance, or Starting Over Again. And then there's this recent movie, The Day After Valentine's. It's actually nice.
I also know one Filipino drama starring Marian Rivera and Ding Dong. Marian Rivera turns into a mermaid.
JustSomebody.
Just
Yeah, that one. I know that one.
Have you ever tried listening to Filipino music?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know the title.
Sarah Geronimo. Kilometro, I like that song.
My favorite Filipino song is Hawak Kamay.
Oh, me too. Oh my God.
Really?
Hawak kamay,
Yeah.
tikita.
I don't know the lyrics, but I really like Hawak Kamay. And also the Torete.
Oh my God.
Because we had to change the lyrics and do it for our school project. So I also like that.
Harana, I like that song.
Can you sing it?
No.
Today you're gonna be doing something interesting, a twist.
Twist?
You've been actually translating my reaction videos, right? Usually on my channel, Filipinos react to Korean videos. Now today I'll show you 3 Filipino music videos, and that's how we're going to end.